What's up everybody? So in today's video we're going to be setting up a quick notification app where you can select a date and time. Let's say that time, and then you can create a notification, and at that specific time you will receive a notification. So at the end we'll show it on the device. But let's get into it. One quick disclaimer before we start. I'm not sure if this is the best method to schedule notifications, but we're going to be building on top of the previous app we created where we basically have a periodic scheduler on the cloud function, and we're going to just add the notification thing to that. If you're looking for a better way to schedule functions, there's this package called Flutter Local Notifications, and here you're able to select a direct time when you want to schedule your function. So if you're looking for that, I would look into this one. I still have to experiment with this a bit and check it out, but I might make a video of that later. So we're going to need 4 packages for this. We're going to need Cloud Firestore to access Firestore, of course, then firebase messaging for our cloud functions, and then Flutter datetime picker and international for internationalization of the date right here. So once you have that, save it and do pub get, and then we can go take a look at the home screen. So in here, well, first things first, in the main screen, we just have our notification app that leads to the home screen. Then the home screen, we have our select date and all this stuff already done. If you want to see how all this code is done and how we made it work, I have a video that I'll link above. You can go check that out. So now for the actual notification parts of this. So if you check the Firebase messaging package, you'll see that you need to add this intent filter in the Android manifest. So in here, let's just paste that in. And this is so I think when you click on the notification that it launches your Flutter app. Alright, next thing, we also had our function, our scheduled function from the last video. So we had timer update. In this video we're going to add a new send notification instead. We're going to do all the same things kind of, except in here we're going to send check whether notification should be sent, and send it if yes. Then we can say end of function. But before we get to actual implementation of the cloud function, we need to make sure we have everything outside the cloud function figured out. So here's the method we're going to use. We're going to create a notification of when we want to notify, because we're going to pick that time. We're going to pass a token for which Android device is sending it. You need this in order to send a notification. And we're going to do notification sent false. We're going to check it periodically using this function that we did. If it's past the time, we're going to send out the notification, and we're going to set this notification sent to true. So the next step is the main screen. In here we have our notification state. We're going to need to do some stuff inside init state. So we're going to need first access to our Firebase messaging instance. I'm going to create that by doing Firebase messaging. There we go. And inside our init state, which is over here, actually let's copy paste that into the actual state. So in init state, we're going to have to set up a couple things. First thing, for iOS specific, you need to check if the platform is iOS. You need to request permission, request notification permissions, and you pass in iOS notification settings. And then you also need to check whether that has been registered. On iOS setting registered, you can listen to that and then print out iOS registered. So that's iOS specific. So this next part, you pretty much configure the actual Firebase messaging. You do that by putting in these functions. So you do your Firebase messaging instance, and you configure three things: on message, on launch, and on resume. So on message gets executed when you are in the app and notification gets received. So let's say you get a notification, you want to do a little pop-up here that shows that you got a new notification or something. On launch gets executed when you launch the app after notification received. So let's say you see an actual notification pop up like this. When you click on it, that will be on launch. On resume is when your app is in the background. So if it's like this and you're using some other app, if you go back to it, on resume should execute. If you got a notification, that is. So alright, our Firebase messaging is configured. Next, let's go to the home screen. All we need to do on the home screen is when the button is pressed, you want to create a notification document in Firestore. So we don't have that yet, but we can add a new folder, call it services. This is the layout I like to keep for my apps. So database.dart. And here we're going to have a class called database, and we're going to define a function called create notification, and it's going to return a future void. Inside this create notification, we're going to want a timestamp of when to notify. So we go back to the home screen. Now instead of creating a notification document in Firestore, we could do actual database, create notification. And one more thing I forgot, let's put brackets around this so I actually know what we're doing. And so on the home screen now, when to notify, we can do selected date. That doesn't work actually because it's a date time. If we do timestamp dot from date, then selected date, and now that should work. Okay, so final step before the actual implementation of the cloud function. Let's define this create notification. So in here, we need an instance of Firestore. And we also need an instance of Firebase messaging. Let's be consistent, put an underscore under this too. So inside this function, first of all, we need it to be asynchronous because it's a future. Then next, we do the normal setup that I have for my functions. Find a return value and then return retval. Inside, we need to try catch, because anytime we do anything asynchronous, you want to use that. And in here, we can just print the error if we get one. But in the try, we need to await our Firestore instance, and we need to get the collection called notifications. And then for actual document name, we're going to name it with the token of our device. So we need to get that token. How we get it? It's a string value. We call it FCM token. And we get it by doing Firebase messaging.get token. So then our document will be the FCM token. And we can set this data to the token to be the FCM token again. When to notify will be when to notify, that is passed in, and notification sent, we'll set that to false to begin with. Alright, so all this should be done. Let's see if it works. So we can change the date to 14/35, sure. Create notification. And then in here, we should see yeah, this is it. This is the notification we created. It just overwrites it because I have it set data to the token, and this token is the same one. So change date to that. So it gets updated. So the last step is to monitor this document and see whether it's past the time and send a notification if it is passed. So let's go back to it. And in the index.js, we'll finish this function off. So let's comment that one out. So for this to work, we're going to be retrieving and doing stuff within firestore, so we need to make this asynchronous as well. So now we need to query this information. We do that in a very similar way. Database.collection and notifications, and where, when to notify is less than or equal to, I need to put my commas in, is less than or equal to timestamp.now. I think we need to do admin.firestore.timestamp.now. But then also on top of that, we need to do where notification sent is equal to false. We need to get that information. So we need to check whenever the notification time is less than the current time, and that the notification hasn't already been sent. So when this time is less than the current time, and make sure this is false. Because after we send it once, we don't want to send it again. So there we have our actual query. Now we need to parse that query. We do that by doing query.forEach. And then this is going to be asynchronous as well. And we get the snapshot of each query. So here we can make a function called send notification. Notification. And it's not defined. It tries to do something for me, but that's not what we want. And then after we send that notification, we want to await the database. And for the document in notification, notifications plus the token that we have, which we can get from the snapshot data.token. We want to update that data to say notification sent is true. Come on, comma, not a semicolon. All right, so this is the wrong thing. That's not what we want. We want to actually create a function over here called send notification. We need to pass it the Android notification token. Alright. So here I guess we need the token as well. You can copy that. So that's pretty much it. Now we just need to define this actual send notification. So we're going to query every result where the time to notify is less than the current time and the notification hasn't already been sent. We'll send a notification and then make notification sent to true. Then down here for the send notification is pretty straightforward. We have the body. We will actually no, the title. We want to let the title equal time notification. And we want to let body equal comes at the right time. Whatever we want. Then we define our message that we're going to send out. Message equals notification. Title will just be our title. And body will just be the body that we created. And the token we need is the Android notification token. And we need to pass in this data variable with a thing called click action. That is Flutter, or we could copy it from Android manifest, Flutter notification click. So there we have our message defined as well. Last thing, to actually send that message out, admin, messaging, send. What do we want to send? We want to send that message. And then after that message is sent, let's get a response. And return console.log successful message sent. If we don't get that, then we want to catch the error. And we want to log console.log error sending message. So there, the code's done. Now we need to deploy this function. Let's do firebase deploy. And you got to give it a minute. So there, our function is deployed. So if we check our functions, see we have our send notification function, and in the logs we might actually see an error. So failed precondition, it requires an index. So we need to, since we're querying multiple things in the where, we have multiple where queries, we make sure we index them. You can just copy this path and that will do the index for you. So let's create it and wait for it to finish building. Alright, there we go. We got a little thing that said it was done. Sometimes it keeps showing that it's building, but if we refresh, we'll see it's enabled. And now we can check here. We can see with our index is built, we're still getting an error. So it says invalid argument for document path must point to a document, but was notifications, and then blah, 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 blah. So that's an easy fix. It's because we didn't put a slash here. We want the notifications collection and the document to be the token name. Now if we do that, we need to redeploy, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll work now. So okay, it's deployed. Let's create a notification, or let's actually make it 1 minute later. Create a notification for that, and here we should see notification sent false. And then in 30 seconds, hopefully we will see a notification pop up. We got to make sure to not be in the app, because if we are in the app, we'll fire off this this on message callback, so we won't get the actual notification, but we should see the on message pop back. But with this way, in 1 second, hopefully, yes, there we go, the notification came through. Time notification comes at the right time, just like we specified over here. Time notification comes at the right time. And then if we click on this, we should see on resume show up here. On resume right there. Perfect. So everything looks like it's working great. Once again, like I said, I'm not sure if this is the best way to schedule notifications, but it makes sense for what I'm doing, since for the book club app, we're gonna need to periodically check timers. So we're checking stuff already periodically, might as well check if the notification needs to be sent. But that's it for this video. This code will be on GitHub. If you have any questions or anything, leave it in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.